Alright, guys, so I'm going to do a review of another comic that was given to me by my good friend Chris, and it's pretty par of the course with the season. It's very much a in-season comic, and that is Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. Now, this comic is pretty special because, for those who don't know, this is written by Bruce Campbell. As in Ash from Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell. Yeah. This is his first comic with DC Comics, and he was like, I just want to write a cool story about Sergeant Rock fighting zombies. And by God, that's what he does. The artwork is done by Eduardo Risso and Christian Rossi. I can't remember if it's Christine or Kristen. So if those names sound familiar, it's because that's the artistic team that worked with Brian Azzarello to give us Moonshine, one of my favorite image books that ended about in 5 volumes. I have the whole set. I love it. It's one of my favorite indie books. Yeah, I've talked about it before, but yeah. I didn't realize that till I opened the book, and I was like, wait a minute, I know this artwork. It's fucking artwork from Moonshine. And that both helps and hinders the book in some cases, and I'll explain in a bit. So, what is this comic about? Well, it's exactly what it is. It's Sergeant Rock versus zombies, and it doesn't really have more than that. It really doesn't have a bigger storyline than Nazi zombies versus Sergeant Rock. There isn't like some deep thinking comic. This is a, hey, we're gonna have fun with a character that DC never really uses anymore. Like, DC doesn't really use Sergeant Rock anymore, so it's cool that Bruce Campbell, of all people, used this book to give us this character who hasn't gotten a comic in decades. So Sergeant Rock and Easy Company go out into deep into German territory. This is shortly after D-Day, in order to stop a new Nazi. And they even say, like, it's a new project. It's like they get like Sergeant Rock and the group are told by their commanding officers, like, yeah, it's a Nazi zombie. We got to go stop it. And that's exactly what they do. They don't even like, holy shit, what does this mean? You know, what is that? What is this? You know, what is this? The implications between life and death? Nothing like that. It's just, it's literally, and that's actually kind of par of the course with the characters, honestly, where Sergeant Rock would just encounter shit and just be like, yeah, that's fucked up. Moving on. That's pretty fucked up, I gotta say. Moving on. And that's what this comic is Sergeant Rock and the rest. They don't question it. It's like that scene in Dusk Till Dawn when George Clooney's character is like, what I saw was vampires. I don't believe in vampires, and don't fucking say that you don't believe in vampires, because those were fucking vampires. It's like that, but with Nazi zombies. Also, I couldn't help but think of the, whenever, like, and this is an action-heavy book. This is an action horror book, and I couldn't help but think every time Easy Company encountered a horde of zombies, all I couldn't help but think is 115 playing in my head. Only real ones will know that reference. But yeah. This comic also had, like I said, the artwork by Risso and Rossi. It's very good, but the problem is that they do kind of make Sergeant Rock look like Lou Pirlo from the Moonshine comics. Like, deadass, I thought that was Lou for a second. If you've read Moonshine, then you know what I'm talking about. So the artwork does get a little confusing facial-wise because you do lose track of them. And while this comic is more about Sergeant Rock and Easy Company, we don't really get a lot with Easy Company themselves. They're just here to help fight the Nazi zombies. And you may be thinking, well, who's the big villain? The big villain is Hitler. Yeah, like super soldier zombie Hitler. This comic does not take itself seriously. And what would you expect from the guy who played a character with a chainsaw in his hand? I think this is the first time Bruce Campbell has ever written a comic. So, and yeah, usually you have like a creative team helping, like when you have a star writer, you have like another person like helping them. You have like a co-writer that's actually knows comics helping them. No, Bruce Campbell just fucking did it himself. I even did background research. I was like, damn, did he just do this himself? And he did. So good on you, Bruce. Like I said, this comic does not, like, care. Like, this comic knows what it is. It doesn't pretend to be anything else. It doesn't have, like, a deep meaning. This is just, let's have fun for Halloween. Like, this is a book that you can... This is a comic that you can definitely read for the Halloween season. And I'm glad the trade dropped right in dead ass in the middle of the season. It just came out, like, I think earlier this week. So I highly recommend this. If you can find this comic, then I highly recommend reading Sergeant Rock versus Army of the Dead. Nothing special, but by God is it fun. It's always fun to watch Nazis die. Even if they're undead. Just saying. Also, there's a weird moment. There's also, like, a few continuity... I didn't talk about this, but there's a few continuity moments. Like, there's a moment where the guy with a flamethrower goes, and he says, and I'm not kidding, "Flame on!" And he has the flamethrower on, but you flip the page, no flamethrowing. There's a few continuity errors here and there. I don't know if, like, Campbell wanted to just write a character saying "flame on" and not do anything with it, just to have, like, a little jab at Marvel. I would not be shocked if that was the case, but yeah. Anyway, so like I said, go check this out. This is definitely worth your time. Even if you've never read anything with Sergeant Rock, it's just... It doesn't matter. Like, you could read this without knowing anything about Sergeant Rock and Easy Company. But anyway, so, yeah, once again, I'd like to thank Chris for sending me this comic. Thank you once again, brother. And other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.